Hello everyone, welcome to How to Judge Mahadasha Part 2. In this edition I'll be talking about a little known secret in astrology. In the first part of my series, linked below, I discussed the rising sign and its importance in judging every Mahadasha planet. In this edition I will discuss the degree of your planet itself and its great importance in that judgment. If you are new to my channel, sub below and let's begin. So everyone, let's start with the basic principles. Every planet has a degree which explains how far it has moved into the sign. As you know, every sign is 30 degrees. So every planet will enter, apart from Rahu Ketu, at 0 degrees and exit at 29 degrees into the next sign. And the number indicates how far that planet has gone into the sign. Rahu Ketu enter at 29 and leave at 0. This degree number is so important in understanding the impact on Mahadasha. Why is this? The degree indicates the amount of karmas accumulated, and this is so important. Now, this principle was brought home to me again by the great astrologer Pandit Sanjay Rath, from whom I get tremendous inspiration, and I'm sure that many of you do too. In a recent lecture, once again, he gave a gem of information when he talked about the importance of the degree of your planet in terms of the amount of karmas to burn. This means, as he put it, the amount of trash you have to burn. Therefore, the difficulty in Mahadasha is linked to the degree of your planet. It's actually a very simple technique, but don't be thinking this is too simple to be useful. It's so simple that people put it to one side. But calculating your Mahadasha and indeed your Bhukti and Antradasha periods, you can go down to a very small amount here, by the total of the degrees involved by the Mahadasha planet with the Bhukti planet, you get a very clear idea of the rise and fall of your struggle in Mahadasha. So everyone, how can we quickly decide if we have low, medium or high amount of karmas? It's quite simple. The lowest karmas, apart from Rahu Ketu coming up, will be 0 to 9 degrees of any planet in a sign. The nearer to 0, obviously, the lower the karmas. Medium karmas 10 to 19. The highest karmas, or the highest amount of trash, as Pandit Sanjay Rao said, we have to burn 20 to the maximum of 29 degrees. For Rahu Ketu, because they enter at 29 degrees and leave at 0, the lowest karmas are 29 degrees going down to 20, medium 19 to 10, and the very highest karmas with Rahu and Ketu are when they are 9 to 0 degrees of any sign. Everyone, the important principle of the difference in karmas. I don't want to make the video extra long. I'm not going to go through every planet's karmas. I'm planning videos on all the Mahadasha planets and all the signs and houses. Don't worry, because to judge Mahadasha, it's not a simple thing. But let's keep this principle simple because it works magnificently. So you're thinking probably, if you have Jupiter or any benefic planet in a high degree, will the struggle be the same as having Saturn, Mars, Sun, Rahu, Ketu, the malefics in a high degree? And the answer is yes, pure and simple. It's karma to burn. So it's all about, as Pandit Sanjay Rao said, the amount of trash accumulated. So if Jupiter is high degree, Saturn is high degree, in the Jupiter Mahadasha, you will struggle to burn that trash the same as you would if it was Saturn. It's just Jupiter trash as compared to Saturn trash. The karmas themselves, the actions performed, are in relation to the planet, but it's still a struggle. So Jupiter would be actions about gurus, religion, principles. Venus about self-indulgence, relationships, sensuality. Mercury, speech, intelligence. Moon, family, mother, and all of these sort of karmas also. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all the planets now. That's not the point. We're not looking at how did you get the karma, what did you do. And again, if you really want to know, Say you've got Venus at a high degree, check in your D60 chart and see what Venus is doing there to see what actions you have performed to get this tremendous amount of Venus karma to burn. Okay, and if you've got a low degree, by the way, that's going to make the Mahadasha easier and smoother for you because you're like a baby in regard to those planets. In this incarnation, you've not come to burn those karmas. So I hope that's clear to you all. The higher the degree, the more karma, the more struggle. The lower the degree, the less karma, the less struggle. What the karmas are is in relation to the actual planet, but that doesn't really matter. We're only concerned here on this video to calculate how much struggle you will have and how it goes up and down so that you can plan ahead. So next, everyone, to give you a quick example of how this is done, I brought up the chart of Boris Johnson, our Prime Minister in the UK, and his birth chart, a full analysis of which is in any case on my channel. All I'm doing here is looking at the principle of degree of planet and Mahadasha. What you will notice about Boris Johnson's chart, everyone, is that most planets have a low degree of karma to burn, which smooths his path in many Mahadashas. Look, the Sun is 5, Venus 5, Moon 7, Saturn 11, and Mars 8. Many planets low, very low in karma to burn. But the highest planet is, of course, Atmakarika, which is Mercury at 25. Now, on this video, I'm not discussing Karikas, but it's good to point out, it's well known that the Atmakarika planet, the highest degree planet for him, it's Mercury, is going to cause a lot of struggle. Why? Because the same principle, the higher the degree, the more karmas to burn. Now let's look at Rahu and Ketu for Boris Johnson, because Rahu is at 8 degrees Gemini and Ketu at 8 degrees Sagittarius. Don't forget the core principle. This is a high amount of karma to burn for Rahu Ketu because they enter at 29 degrees. They're at the end of the sign because they're going backwards. So let's calculate the karmas then using Boris Johnson's Mahadasha periods, clearly shown here. And he's currently in Mercury Mahadasha, his Atmakarika, with a very high degree of karma. Don't forget, every bhukti counts as well. So you might want to go ahead so far in your life right now to look at the karmas, but your current Mahadasha can be divided into bhuktis, and you will see clearly the rise and fall of your fortune using this technique. So just for the sake of you seeing this principle, I've written the actual degree of every planet beside his Mahadasha periods here. Okay, so he started in Rahu Mahadasha, and for Rahu we have to turn it around. I'll talk about it in a minute. So for every planet we just put in the actual degrees. So Jupiter 22 degrees, Saturn 11 degrees, Mercury Atmakarika 25 degrees, Venus 5 degrees, Sun 5, Moon 7, Mars 8. What's happening to Rahu and Ketu, please take note. Rahu is 8 degrees Gemini, but I've written 22 here. Why? Because we have to keep the direction of the planets consistent with each other to do the calculation. So because Rahu goes backwards, we have to turn it into a direct movement. So 22 degrees is the amount of time Rahu has been in Gemini because he starts from the other end of the sign. So by the time he gets to 8 degrees, he's actually gone through 22 degrees of the sign, and the same for Ketu. So be careful to change around Rahu Ketu to the same number they would have if they were going direct. So looking at Boris Johnson's Mahadasha then, by this principle, we see that he's now in Mercury. He's had quite a lot of karma to burn so far. And you're probably thinking, but this guy's had a charmed life. But that doesn't express what struggle he has personally been going through. As you notice, it starts quite high, 22, and goes to half in Saturn Mahadasha. The struggle calms right down. What happened? In Saturn Mahadasha, he was Mayor of London twice, unheard of for a Conservative. He became very famous, very successful. He had super, super success in that Mahadasha. Aided, you could say, by the fact that Saturn is in Aquarius, own sign, and in the sixth house. But everybody, if Saturn hadn't have been 11 degrees, if it had been, say, 26, 27 degrees, really high karma, would he have got the same success so easily? No. The karmas would have been heavier. It would not have been such a stupendous success for him as it actually was. Now, the important thing we have to know here is this is just the Mahadasha. We have to go through the Bhukti and add the Bhukti karma to the Mahadasha karma to get a real understanding of the fluctuations in our fortune. So let's have a look at Mercury Mahadasha for Boris Johnson. First of all, though, we must understand the baseline of what is the maximum amount of karma we could be possibly burning. So when we add the Mahadasha degree to the Bhukti degree that we are going through, we can get a maximum of 58 because 29 degrees of karma of any planet would be the maximum. So 29 plus 29, Mahadasha and Bhukti would be 58, the maximum anybody could be going through at any time in any Mahadasha and Bhukti. So I'm just doing the first sub period only because if we go on and on and on, then we keep on getting more and more numbers to add. So I'm just using the Mahadasha and Bhukti for now, but you can add other sub periods if you want. So keeping in our mind the baseline of 58 as the maximum that anybody could experience, let's see how it goes. So here's a very easy example, Mercury Mahadasha for Boris Johnson. All I'm doing is I got all the dates of the Bhukti periods in his Mahadasha. Mercury, Mercury, Mercury Ketu, Mercury Venus, Mercury Sun, and so on. And I'm adding the total karmas. So Mercury Mahadasha is 25 degrees of karma, 25 degrees of his Mercury in Taurus there, coming all the way through. It's got a lot of karma. So when you add up the various Bhukti planets, Mercury, Ketu, Venus, and so on, you can see how it's going to go. It starts quite high at 50. Don't forget 58 is a maximum. And it goes down and then up again at the end. But it never gets below 30. So the intensity of the struggle is there, but it does calm down a little bit in some respects. And don't forget, this is his struggle, what he's going through, a lot of which we won't see. Okay, so he starts in October 16, Mercury with 50. This was a time when he came back to being an MP again. I know that his personal life had various struggles at that time. It's all well known. You can have a look at his biography. I don't want to talk about that here, but that was a time, of course, when he had led the Leave vote, and that was when David Cameron had resigned, and he became actually during this time Foreign Secretary, which was apparently not successful. He struggled tremendously with 50 degrees of karma as Foreign Secretary during this period here. So that is exactly as we would expect with so much karma. Then from February 19, in July of that year, 2019, he gained the leadership of the Conservative Party. The karmas are still high, 47, but they've gone down a little bit, but they're still very high. And he struggled terribly. He couldn't get anything through Parliament all of the autumn of 2019 during Mercury Ketu. It was a hopeless situation with 47 degrees of karma until Mercury was eclipsed. And that major eclipse, as I had already predicted on my Boris Johnson horoscope video, would turn things around, and it did. So he's in a better situation now as he's in Mercury Venus with 30 degrees of karma now, because Venus is 5 degrees and 25 Mercury equals 30. So now he's got the least struggle actually of the whole Mercury Mahadasha in terms of his internal experience and the obstacles. Okay, and he is gunning ahead now. he's able to do what he wants to do in Parliament. Adding the fact that he's in a Saturn dia in his fourth house. Saturn is fourth to his moon here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth to his moon, which of course affects all of us with the virus situation and all the other things going on now. But for Boris Johnson, in this Mercury Mahadasha, it's going down in some intensity of his experience. Lots of other things to discuss though for him, because Venus is combust, lots of other factors. But just looking at the intensity, that's what is going on there. When he goes into Mercury Sun, it stays about the same Mercury Moon. It goes up dramatically in 2026 when he enters Mercury Rahu to 47 and Mercury Jupiter 47. So 2026 until 2028 is going to be a time of much more struggle personally for Boris Johnson. So that then is an example of how you can calculate your Mahadasha and Bhukti in terms of the amount of karmas you are burning and see fluctuations in that. So everybody, I hope that was a useful video for you all. Comment below. I'd be interested to hear about your experiences too. So sub to my channel if you haven't already. Coming up soon, more videos on the important subject of judgment of your Mahadasha. Goodbye for now, and God bless everyone.